Brian Mills, a retired CIA officer, pays his daughter Kim a visit to give her an early birthday present. Following a strange encounter, he extends an invitation to dinner to Lenore, his ex-wife. Despite her rejection, she later visits his apartment and confides in him about her marital issues while expressing her want to keep the relationship going. Stewart, her spouse, later instructs Brian not to see his wife ever again. Brian gets a text from Lenore the following morning wanting to get together for breakfast. Brian finds Lenore dead when he gets home. Brian appears to be arrested by 2 LAPD police right away, but he subdues them, leads other officers on a pursuit around the area, disappears into the sewage system, and makes off. Detective Dotzler of the LAPD looks over Brian's past in the interim. Brian withdraws to a secure residence furnished with armaments and monitoring devices. Retracing Lenore's last steps, he finds a petrol station and watches the security tape where men with unusual hand tattoos kidnap her. When LAPD detectives show up to take him into custody, Brian takes control of the police cruiser and uses a thumb drive to obtain phone records from an LAPD database. Using a camera concealed in his friend Sam's coat, he makes contact with Kim at Lenore's funeral and gives her instructions to stick to her very predictable schedule. Brian gets in touch with her later and takes out the spy bug Dotzler put on her. Brian is informed by Kim that she is expecting. Stewart is behaving frightened, and he has hired bodyguards. As Brian pursues Stewart's vehicle, an oncoming SUV ambushes him, pushing Stewart's vehicle off a cliff. After escaping, Brian takes control of a different vehicle and tracks the assailants to a roadside booze store. After killing the men, Brian kidnaps Stewart and uses waterboarding to question him. Stewart admits that he killed Lenore because he owed Oleg Malenkov money. In a fit of jealousy, Stewart revealed Brian's name to Malenkov, his old business partner and former Russian Spetsnaz operator. Helped by his former co-workers and an anxious Stewart, Brian enters Malenkov's highly guarded penthouse. A fatally wounded Malenkov discloses that Stewart orchestrated Lenore's murder and set Brian up as part of a swindle to obtain a $12 million life insurance policy after Brian kills Malenkov's guards and battles the man. Malenkov continues, in order for Stewart to keep the insurance money, he used Brian to try and kill Malenkov after Stewart failed to kill Brian. Kim is kidnapped by Stewart, who plans to get away with the money. Stewart's private plane is getting ready to take off when Brian, the target of a police pursuit, pulls into the airport in Malenkov's Porsche. Brian overpowers Stewart after smashing the Porsche's landing gear. Brian grants Kim's request and spares Stewart's life, but not before forewarning him to expect vengeance should Stewart evade justice or be given a lower sentence. When Dotzler and the LAPD show up, Stewart is taken into custody and Brian is released. After that, Kim tells Brian that if her child is a girl, she wants to name her after her mother.